before Donald Trump was elected. At a time when most political pundits were predicting a Hillary Clinton victory, Alan Lichtman, a professor and presidential historian, made a bold prediction: Donald Trump would be our next president. As we now know, Professor Lichtman was correct. We shouldn't have been too surprised. He's predicted the presidential election outcome correctly for more than 30 years. Alan Lichtman joins us now. We should point out that he's also predicting that President Trump will be impeached. Let me ask you, first of all, here about a name in the news. The president tweeting this morning about an article in the New York Times suggesting the president has interviewed or is interested in hiring Emmett T. Flood. Introduce us to him. This attorney who represented President Clinton back during his impeachment proceedings.
That's right. He works for a major law firm. He's been involved in a lot of white-collar issues. He worked as a special counsel during the administration of George W. Bush, and of course is best known for counseling Bill Clinton during his impeachment. So this shows how seriously the Trump administration is taking this investigation and how worried his lawyers are about possible testimony under oath in the Mueller investigation. It's a major step.
Help us understand the role that he played. There were many high-powered lawyers representing the president back then as that went to the House floor trial. What role did he play in specific here? What's his particular expertise as you understand it?
His particular expertise is in high-level litigation, white-collar crime, and in politics as well. And he was a confidant and a counselor to Clinton, helping guide the strategy through the impeachment process, which apparently is exactly what Donald Trump wants.
I should say the president denying that he's thinking of mixing up his legal team in a tweet this morning. But let's take the New York Times here at face here, Alan. I just sort of wonder what this says to you about where we are in this investigation, that the president's considering this option reportedly, that he's thinking about making some changes to his team.
Yeah, I think he will make some changes to his team. Not that the president necessarily listens to what his team says. And apparently they're in some very sensitive negotiations or going to enter negotiations about the president's possible testimony. And they need to be very, very careful about that because this president is an inveterate liar. The Washington Post fact checkers have documented about 2,500 lies in just a little over a year. And he also lies under oath. For my book, The Case for Impeachment, I studied his 2007 deposition when he unsuccessfully sued the journalist Timothy O'Brien for allegedly understating his wealth. And Trump's deposition is riddled with lies. He claims he was paid more than $1 million for a speech by the Learning Annex in New York because he's in such great demand, but he was actually only paid $400,000. He claimed he owed 50% interest in a major property development in Manhattan. He actually owned less than 30%. He claimed that a development in Las Vegas was so terrific that they sold out all of the units in less than a week. And in fact, property records indicated that months later, 30% of the units were still unknown. He claimed he barely knew a guy named Felix Sater, a Russian-connected, shady businessman who had partnered with Trump on many business ventures and had been photographed with Trump just 2 months earlier when they opened the Soho Hotel condominium in New York. And by the way, Felix Sater emerges twice again in the Trump saga. He was the guy who was trying to broker a deal in 2015 during the campaign for a Trump Tower Moscow, and he said, we'll get Putin on board and we're going to elect you buddy boy president. And then he emerges again as one of the three men, along, by the way, with Michael Cohen, the lawyer involved in the Stormy Daniels affair, who gave a proposal to Michael Flynn, the national security advisor, just before he resigned for lifting the sanctions against Russia. The connections are amazing, and you can see why the idea of Trump testifying is so sensitive, and they may want to get more legal firepower involved.
All right, lucidly laid out, as it's laid out in the book, The Case for Impeachment, out in paperback. Now, Alan Lichtman of American University, thank you very much for the time.
All right, so we back. Showing you how they market us. They market off, how they will market off you, you know. Sometimes you do things in life when you go with your spirit, you have to understand people. People sit back and they will sit back and because the laws and because the legislation, because of the democracy that we have set up in these things that we call institutions, whether it's institutions, whether it's it could be anything. I mean, you have corporations, you got all this stuff that people they hide behind. All they gotta do is sit back and wait and go for the kill. Everybody know President Trump's coming to town tomorrow. Come on, they know he's coming to California. Well, come to see me. Coming to see me, so everyone's trying to, the last minute, because everything, how many times have you done things at the last minute? It's like, whether you're studying for a test, whether you're washing your clothes, whether you're packing, you're ready to go somewhere the next day. So this is the day before the event of him coming to Cali to see me. So everybody's swallowing me, whether it's trying to take credit for what I've developed with President Donald Trump, whether it's trying to set me up for whatever. People just desperate, because like I said, coming to town and people don't know what to do with themselves, If they don't come to me, they don't try to ask me what's up or give me any kind of make no dialogue with me or try to they let me do the work, and then they come and try to take the credit, because that's the way the world we live. We live in a very marketable world. Everything's basically set up in a to buy or sell. That's why it says in the word that they said Jesus he went to the temple and started turn over all the stuff that they were doing in church, selling and selling this, selling that, buying this, buying that. They made it into like a store, a market or whatever. And it was about the money, you know what I'm saying? So he started turning stuff over. And so if it's like that in the church, because people, that's why I don't go to church for what? What am I going to church for? I mean, the world went into the church. They went back in the church and they preach about it at the same time. So, I was going to my daughter's school for kind of like church, trying to raise the kids up in a church atmosphere or whatever, because it's supposed to be Christianity. But then I started understanding about Christianity from different philosophers that I posted on YouTube to share with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing all this stuff, doing all this, Donald Trump, making him president, doing this, doing that, and people just at the last minute just gonna instead of send me at the seat or coming and shaking my hand to come do this and come do that and show his appreciation, they rather give out some more propaganda. That's all it is, propaganda. So they're probably pretty much giving out this misleading information at the last minute that I'm exposing to you now. I mean, come on. I'm exposing it. I'm letting you see it for yourself. How I'm giving. See, I would just show you and tell you. See, sometimes people try to tell you stuff, argue and fuss and complain and this and that. And no, I won't do all that. I'm just rather just show you. I would just go ahead and just show you. Because like I said, back when people have said me time before, I can show you, but I can tell you, So that's why I'm doing these things to let people know this is not just about the ordeal with myself, but more of yourself. Because whatever happens can happen, and we make it happen. So you have to understand that, not to say that this is all negative, because they're good. Listen, there's no such thing as good or bad, right or wrong, because they all work together. Because everything can change real quick. Because of the flip side. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite show was Flipper. You know, I used to watch that every day that it came on in the 70s. You know, Flipper, King of the Seas, or whatever his song was. You have to understand, things be flipping, you know, so you have to understand how that sometimes people make it flip, and that kind of messes it up because people don't know shit, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand the Spirit of the Most High, that the Spirit of the Most High can't go wrong, you know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong, but you can, you know what I'm saying? You can admit it. So I want people to realize that you know, like I said many times before, that it's a cold game. You know, peace out.